finally, Geeb, we're seeing a decline in sales in the Nintendo Switch. They're down about 30%.
They are indeed.
What is it? Year over year, 30% they're down. In year 8, Geeb, in year 8, they're only down 30% in year 8.
This is the lowest it's been since 2018. It's still very high, as far as compared to the rest of the years. But yeah, it's a steep decline from last year, 2024.
That's the thing about the Switch 2, or the Switch as well, not the Switch 2. They have not even put this thing on sale yet. Like, we haven't even got to the point where they're discounting the system. And we are already at, since we're just rolling through these numbers here, the Switch has officially sold 150 million units.
Can you play that?
I can. I'll do it right now.
It's a monumental achievement.
150 million units, which means they're what? 12 million off from the PlayStation 2. They're going to pass the DS. They're only like a couple million away from the DS. They're gonna hit the... Once they put this thing on sale, they're going to get that 162 million.
You say that. This is not today's episode. But you mentioned it, and I thought I saw this today, and I want to talk about this quickly. It's about tariffs, guys. If you don't want to hear about tariffs, I'm sorry, but it's in relation to gaming here. And I think Nintendo actually made a statement about that, if I'm not mistaken.
They did. Yep, they did.
About the tariff, because it's real.
Happening, yeah.
Right, it's happening, and it's just an unfortunate reality is that Switch and Nintendo acknowledge it. And then games and consoles and everything, the prices are gonna go up if what's gonna happen is gonna happen with tariffs. And that's something to note, because I'm not convinced if that's going to happen. I'm not convinced that the Switch 1 is going to go on sale. In fact, I almost feel like the Switch might just live the Switch might live exactly where it's at, even still. And the next system's going to be $400 minimum. And Nintendo said in their statement that they're experimenting with the idea, the possibility of multiple tiers of prices. So that tells me, like, let's just say in a world we have like the top tier Switch 2 model, which got all the bells and whistles, whatever Nintendo decides to do with it.
In a world,
$500. And then you get like another one that's like more reasonable for everyone else is going to buy.
Well,
the $400 tier. And then you still have the OLED at the 350 mark. You have the regular Switch at 300 and the Switch Lite at the 200 mark. And I see a world where that's definitely likely.
Maybe, but Nintendo did say this today. They did talk about pricing because they were asked directly about the pricing. They didn't really say what the price was going to be, but they did mention things like, about the last time we put out a system, the landscape was different, inflation in general. It's going to be, but they also mentioned that our customers expect us to be at a price range that is, that's going to kind of be, not astronomical. So I don't think we're looking at 500. I think by that, they're kind of not saying, but saying this thing's going to be $400.
I think there's no way in hell. Now, I think Mike Odyssey had mentioned on Twitter a few weeks back, we talked about it, that I think he thinks it's 350 or whoever it was on Twitter. Somebody said that 350 is what we're looking at. And that's too low. I think
there's no way.
If Nintendo's working on tiers pricing for the Switch 2, the base price or only price, it's either or. Either it's the only price or the base price will be $400. I'm convinced of that. And if they do tiering, there might be one or two other models besides the base. It could definitely be $500. And they might provide a good excuse to pay that via little accessory.
Because think about it.
It could come with a Pro Controller. It could come with...
Or it could just be the revision, the mid... the mid-generation refresh that was the OLED, only it's not just an OLED. Maybe they shrink the manufacturing process, the little dies or whatever, to whatever nanometer to make it more efficient and faster, and then they can put something else in it and make it run better and have better battery life and all that shit. And that could be the Pro.
I wasn't thinking long-term like that. I was thinking immediate, like day one.
Oh, I don't think immediately they're going to do anything but put out two colors of this thing. I think we're going to see I would say in April, we're going to see the other colorway of this thing. I think that'll be it. I think they're going to go basically what they did with the Switch. We'll get this. Then a couple years later, we're going to get the light version of it. And then we'll get a beefy version of it.
So, yeah, I was not considering the fact that maybe in the future is when they're talking about.
That's how it's
not immediately.
Go.
Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I think they're going to. It worked. I don't think they're going to stray too far from what worked. I think they'll learn from what they did in certain situations and try to maybe do certain things better. But the Switch Lite did pretty good. They didn't expect it to light the world on fire. It didn't, but It sold well.
Is that pun intended, Drip?
I don't know. Is it?
Did the Switch light the world on fire?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even catch that. No, I didn't even catch it when you said it. So
It was so
no,
smooth, man. It was so smooth.
It didn't, but I mean, neither did the OLED. But it kept everything going. You know what I mean? It kept console sales going. It kept people buying. And if you look at some of those things that they have, and you guys can see all this, like all this is online for you to go look at. If you're listening to this and you want to see the charts, all the stuff, I mean, you can see in some of those charts, it shows like once the Switch Lite came out, lots were added. More people were still buying Switches, but that giant chunk on the top is just Switch Lites.
Yeah.
You know, kind of went down the next year, but then once the OLED came out, you just see that go up, up, up. And, you know, some of the others were going down, but it kept them making money. And I mean, that's what they're about at this point.
Nintendo, every single show. Dreadlocks Zelda, cheap, let's flow.